Hi guys, emails. Welcome to this AMA. My name is Piotr Duda. I am business developer at DeltaPrime, and today we'll be talking with my good friend and CEO Piotr from DeltaPrime, and we'll also be talking with Lucas, the pool master at Brightpool.
Hello,
Welcome, guys. Awesome. Today we'll be talking about innovation in DeFi. Of course, we'll be talking about DeltaPrime. We'll be talking about Brightpool. And we'll be talking about some other innovations that we might see right now across the DeFi space. I'll be asking you questions, but for everyone that's listening right now, the whole conversation will be a whole lot better if you submit your own questions as well. You can do that on Discord. You can do that on Twitter, I think, right? Probably on Twitter. Send in your questions, and this will be a real conversation. For now, let's start with some introductions. Lucas, do you want to start us up?
Sure, thanks. Of course. So yeah, as you said, I'm a pool master of Brightpool, which means that I manage the project. And is it the time to introduce the project? You want to tell me about the projects?
Shortly, let's do a short introduction about yourself first.
So just to really, in a nutshell, Brightpool is the DeFi trading platform, DeFi trading platform you've never seen before. And let's do the suspense here.
Awesome. Nice meeting you, Piotr.
And I'm Piotr, really good friend of Gavin, of Lucas, and together with Gavin and Kamil, we co-founded DeltaPrime. My background is software developer. Now we created a really cool under-collateralized lending protocol. We'll tell you more later.
Yeah. Actually, we can immediately move on because we're eager to talk about the projects. So let's jump into that. Again, starting with Lucas. And I'm also very curious as to your title, Pool Master. Where's it coming from? What are you guys doing? And how do you innovate?
Yeah, it came from the Brightpool. The idea of Brightpool is that we have, you can say, we have a few pools, in Brightpool. That's why I choose that name, because we have an order pool for the orders, when the orders are stored, the funds from the orders were user placed. Then we have a liquidity pool, which is not a typical liquidity pool, because typically to the liquidity pool, you can add liquidity, and to our liquidity pool, you cannot add. This is kind of like a liquidity pool which is created from the revenue of the exchange. So we have a new model here. Then we have a staking pool, which is a bit different than most of the staking pools. Normally, you have a protocol token in staking pools, and we don't have our token in that pool. We have stables, Ethereum in that pool, and yeah, that's why I said that's what I choose the name, a pool master, because I have a few pools over there.
All right, awesome. And can you dive also a little bit deeper into what it is that Brightpool does and what you offer as services?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, as I said at the beginning, Brightpool is DeFi trading platform. So what we did, we've taken the options as a financial instrument, and we've created the easiest option platform, option protocol in the world. I mean, literally the easiest, and I mean, in DeFi and in Texas as well. Normally, you have options that are extremely complicated. Nobody gets options instead of professional traders, calls, puts, bids, and everything. And we simplified to the maximum. You have the UI, UX in a Binance style, as simple and as easy as CEST. And user can place the options without even knowing then those orders are options. And with orders on Brightpool, those orders makes a revenue, and the revenue is done in traded tokens like stables, Ethereum, and the other tokens. And what we did, we tied that revenue to the token. And another thing is that we reduced trading fees to zero. If you place the order, the trading fees is zero. And instead even of charging users, we pay them for placing the orders with our token. And then user can stake the token and receive part of the revenue. So the token is very strongly connected with the revenue of the exchange. And with that, we aim to create totally new DeFi model.
Right. So you're essentially an options provider. You provide options towards people, but in a very simplified way.
People say there is like a huge discussion going on, because when I talk about Brightpool, it's a new protocol, and with the pretty innovative model, we have a model called proof of bid, the model of releasing the tokens. Like the Brightpool tokens are, you can say, mined or minted. Mined, it's kind of like a quote, but because there are no blocks, not blocks involved. We are not a blockchain. We are like just DeFi protocol, which is on a Polygon chain. But some people say these are options. Other people say, these are like a betting platform. Other people say this is a prediction platform. So it depends how do you see it, and what's your kind of like what's your approach to trading, to market. So basically, I'm saying that this is like a trading platform, which will be great, for example, for spot traders, speculators, guys who love technical analysis, like support, resistance level, because they can place a trade at their level and get additional reward, like our token BRIs, then stake the tokens, get additional revenue, and still be in the trade that they want to be.
Sounds good. I definitely have a couple of follow-up questions on that. But before we get deeper into that, I also want to move the mic to Piotr. Piotr, what is it that DeltaPrime does? What is it that we do and that we offer?
Cool, thank you. So as Lucas said, Brightpool is the easiest DeFi protocol out there. So DeltaPrime is second easiest. So what we provide is under collateralized lending. And we all know cool protocols like Aave Compound, and they are trustless, permissionless, full DAO, and they are super popular because of the ease of use and no trust needed, no credit score. You just go connect with your MetaMask and borrow money. But the disadvantage of these protocols is over collateralization. So you have to always put more collateral than you actually borrow. So, usually when you borrow money, you want to end up with more money. We came up with a solution for this problem, leveraging the smart contract architecture. So for every user that comes to our platform, who is our borrower, we deploy a separate smart contract to the network. And that smart contract is in custody of his funds, of his borrow funds, of his collateral. They all go to this safe place. And he, as a user, he can use the smart contract to invest in various DeFi protocols. What we check is the solvency of his positions, of his assets, and we check if it can cover the debts that he has in our protocol. If it doesn't, we liquidate him.
This is, if I can add one thing, like I love your technology. Like when we've met with Piotr, I said that this is like breakthrough technology for me.
Yeah.
Like the way you came up with the lendings and the smart contracts, which are in charge, and you've in fact broke that collateralization barrier, which is really cool. And that's in fact trigger like possible cooperation between our protocols. But I don't want to. Maybe Gavin have the question about it, so I don't want to spoil his show.
I think I'm gonna ask that question later on. Because, before we get into that, on the topic of innovation, Lucas, to you, how many option protocols like this are already out there, or how did you came up with building this?
Like our protocol, it's zero. Like zero. Like that type of protocol, it's zero. Like when we started to develop our protocol, we were saying that this is a DEX. Like we were saying, decentralized exchange, that we are doing a DEX. But then, I realized that when you say DEX, people think, oh, okay, so it means that you can do swaps. You have a liquidity pool, and you can add liquidity to many liquidity pools, and you can add liquidity to those liquidity pools. And in fact, in Brightpool, you don't have swaps, you don't have liquidity pools, and you cannot add liquidity. So we are not exactly a DEX. That's why I realized that, in fact, we are a DeFi trading platform. And with options. Okay, so there's like many options protocol, decentralized options protocol at the market. Just to name a few, like Lira, Dopex, Open, and the others. Usually those protocols has a typical typical option model, like they have vaults for calls, vaults for puts, and you need to really understand options. You need to understand like long straddle position, what does it mean, how can you play with it, that type of stuff. And that's not easy. Even if you go to Deribit, and if you, which is centralized option trading platform, and you will see their table, you will be scared, immediately. Like you won't get it. Like it's huge, complicated table with the many numbers and some dates, and you need to understand whether you want to do a bid for call or ask for put, or like, it's. I even have sometimes I have to think twice, if I want to buy option there, wait a second, should I put a call? It's confusing. And we want to simplify it. And thanks to that, we want to achieve massive adoption for options. Like we want to bring a lot of people to options, even without not mentioning options at our platform. Like I'm saying that those are options because people always want to know what exactly is this, what exactly is this. And if we will take like a huge explanation on that, then we have a Black-Scholes model built in. And here the innovation, the strong innovation comes, because Black-Scholes model, it's a model used for pricing derivatives, and it was awarded with Nobel Prize in economics in 1997. And up to these days, the major hedge funds, pension funds, etc., use the variations of that model, to price the price derivatives. And when we give people rewards for orders, we price that order with the Black-Scholes model as well. We created our own volatility prediction model, and the whole business model on Darkpool is based on that Nobel Prize winning algorithm, which gives us strong fundamentals and consistency. In fact.
And it's how you manage risk. Then I'm guessing, right?
So this is yes. That's one of my favorite part. The risk is just managed by itself. Like the whole model of Brightpool is created in a way that we have a long straddle position, and this is like we don't need to do a hedging. We don't need to we don't need to move capital from one side to the other side. Everything is just managed by our token. Our token, in fact, is the derivative for the market volatility. So the higher volatility you will have, the better performance of our token will be, and the higher revenue of the exchange we will have. And that revenue of the exchange is strictly connected with the token by staking and by the buyback, which we will do of that token. We will be buying back tokens from the market and putting them once again to the rewards pool.
Right. Okay. So the risk is essentially eliminated in that sense. Piotr, what you just mentioned sounds very risky as well, right? Since you're lending out money, you're doing it in an uncollateralized way.
Yeah, that's
Could you explain how you cover that? Yeah.
Sure. So it's the very first question that usually comes, like under collateralized loans. Well, how do you make it safe? Or like, wow, it sounds super risky. And actually, it's not more risky than over collateralized protocols, because from the protocol perspective, all the dApps are over collateralized, since they're in the smart contract. In the smart contract, inside the integrations that we provide, we have ability to use the total value of assets, of positions of a person to repay his debt. So we all the time we measure what's the total value of the assets of a user, and if it's needed, then we sell part of it and repay the debt. So this is just leveraging smart contract as its best, I would say.
Right. And we're all at ETH Berlin right now. I'm sure you've both talked to a lot of new projects as well. Maybe some innovative projects as well. Piotr, have you met anyone who you think, hey, this project is so new, we need this right now?
Yeah, so I've met a couple of even our potential integrations. Definitely L2s are a big thing right now, and that's what we are looking into, taking into account our future expansion. But we have a protocols like Noya, so like yield aggregators that are perfect use case to be integrated to our platform. So a user can come and leverage stake or create a delta neutral strategy using such a protocol integrated to us.
Sounds really good. Sounds really good. A small refresh to everyone listening right now. Send in your questions as well, because I can just boom questions on the go, but it's more interesting if you put yours in. And then I actually want to say one to Lucas. Any projects that you find interesting that you met?
Yeah, I was, as you said, right now we are in Berlin. There is a blockchain Berlin week, which is really, really cool. Like a lot of events in one place. I can see that the crypto scene, crypto space in Germany, in Berlin in particular, is really strong. There's like a lot of people, a lot of protocols. So I've arrived today and I took part in a borderless event. It's even investors event. Borderless is capital VC fund. In fact, they are investors. So yeah, I had a few interesting conversation over there with a few investors. I can see that, I can feel it. Like right now, there is a change in paradigm, if I can say so. If there is a change in a DeFi model in the air, like people are aware that several things in DeFi failed, and they are looking for a fresh blood, like new concepts which will be with strong fundamentals. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Like the real yield that we have right now, that projects are focusing on.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like by strong fundamentals, I see two things there. Like one thing is that nobody believes in the staking, which we know, like the staking which we used to have. Like I think that the exaggeration and the killer of that staking was like Olympus DAO and its forks. Like you stake or OHM, and you will have like hundred maybe tens of thousands APR. It was crazy. So that proved something, like that you dilute the value of your token so much that it doesn't make sense in the long run. And I have that feeling that everyone gets it right now. And
As you Gavin said, right now the real yield projects, the ones that really have a business model that is sustainable, they are flourishing. Although it's a bear market, it's like step by step, slowly, but it's we are creating like DeFi of future, which is gonna be sustainable DeFi.
Yeah, there is that saying in investment, you should build in bear market, you should invest in the bull market. Yeah, that's what they say, and it's like perfect time for building right now, in fact.
Yeah, it is.
In bear market, the best protocols were created. Let's think about Uniswap, and then after that, the whole DeFi summer. It all started in bear market, in fact, before everything popped up in 2020.
Same goes with the investments that you make, of course. Like if you invest in the bear market, then during the bull market, you can reap the rewards.
Right.
So that's not non-financial advice, of course, but good advice. Then talking about business models and about real yield, Piotr, starting with you. What's the business model of DeltaPrime?
Yeah.
How are you going to create real revenue?
Yeah. So in DeltaPrime, we have two types of users. One user is a passive investor, who, for example, has 1,000 ETH, and this person doesn't want to lose that ETH. It's very valuable, but on the other hand, would like to do something, get some yield. So that kind of person can come to our protocol and put this ETH to the lending pool. And on the other hand, other part, we have active portfolio managers. So people who like investing, following the charts and would like to get a little bit more risk with the chance of a higher reward. So we put them on the borrower side. These are the users of our Prime account, and they can borrow the money from the first ones. So by borrowing, they have to pay the borrowing rate, and because borrowing rate and the deposit rate, they are not balanced totally. There is a small spread. That's how our pools in the long run generate revenue. That's the first part. The second part is similar to what we have in AMMs. So the transaction fees. So for every transaction, there is a small fee adjusted to that transaction, so it goes to the back to the protocol. So these are the two main models that we use.
Yeah. And what about with you guys, Lucas?
How do we create revenue? Yes,
like, revenue like
streams.
Actual revenue, exactly.
Actual
Instead
revenue.
of the staking mechanism that we've seen with Olympus DAO, Wonderland.
Right. Okay. So this is strictly connected with the orders. Orders on Brightpool are unique. How do they work? Like you place the order with the settlement time. So, for example, when I was last checking, the Ethereum was trading around 1,580, something like approximately. And imagine that I want to place that I think it will go down to some support level. So, for example, my support level is 1,520, for example, and I want to buy at that level, and I think it will be reached tomorrow. So I place the order to buy 1 Ethereum for 1,520 tomorrow. Yes, I choose the settlement time tomorrow. I lock my funds in the Brightpool, my USDC, for example, in the Brightpool orders pool, and then the reward for that order is calculated. It's paid to the users upfront in the moment of placing the order, and I wait 24 hours for my order to be settled. And we have two options. Next day, if the price of the Ethereum is higher than 1,520, for example, 30 or 40, then the order is not settled. So it means that I get back my funds and I keep the reward which I got upfront. So you can say that I just earned the reward for locking the funds. But if the price is lower, so for example, if it is 1,500, let's assume, it means that my order is settled and I bought 1 Ethereum, but for 1,520. And in that case, Brightpool made $20 of revenue. And that revenue goes to our treasury, and we divide it. 20% of that go for stakers, 30% goes for buyback, 40% goes to liquidity pool, internal liquidity, and 10% goes for the development fund. That's how we achieve real revenue, and that revenue is in stables, Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, and any other traded tokens.
That's important because that's what we're hearing like everywhere on Twitter, crypto Twitter right now. That people are like looking for the real yield projects right now. So hearing that both DeltaPrime and Brightpool are fully focused on that sounds really good. Also a question which comes in from Nikos on YouTube. I want to mention that one. And actually, I'm going to ask it to both of you. Okay. But first to Lucas. Because of the current market condition, will you postpone the project launch to a later date? Or are you not worried about, and will you do everything according to the roadmap? If you could start the question by answering when, according to the roadmap, you would launch, and if you're keeping to that, or if you're postponing.
According to the roadmap, we would launch in Q3, but that's not exactly a good idea right now. If you will track the launchpad right now, like no one is raising money. Like there's like just a few protocols which are raising money. Everything in IDO dropped significantly right now. Like I have friends who are running launchpads, and they say like, it's a problem. Like nobody wants to launch, and it's very hard to raise the funds. Why is that? Because the street has left the market. That's the one thing. Like the bull run is finished. So the people who were there for a short term because of the hype, the Bitcoin is, expensive right now, and you can earn 10 times on Doge or Shiba or whatever, those people are gone. And everyone approach everything right now with cautiousness, and we do the same right now. There is no natural hype. You need to have like strong fundamentals. You need to have community. You need community which is built. And in my opinion, there was the Lunar Crash was very significant. I think that the Lunar Crash showed us the instability of some protocols. Like, we had the Luna UST, some algorithmic stable coins, like nobody get it. How exactly does it work? The Anhor, which pays you 20% of yield, and there is a confusion. How do they really make it? And there is some explanation, and people seems to buy it, but they not exactly get it. But since it works, okay, that's always fine. And now people are way more cautious with that. And I believe that to run IDO right now, we need to have like a strong community around the project, and we just need to wait for the proper timing. Like, the timing is key here. And you will know when is that's my opinion, you will know then when is the proper moment of launching by the temperature in your community.
Right. What about you, Piotr?
Yeah, these are interesting points. I think our views here differ a little bit because we want to launch as soon as we'll be ready, and we already know the launch date, but I'm not sharing it today. Guys, be ready because we know that the lending market is still strong in DeFi. It's the second biggest category of DeFi. Avalon has 10 billion TVL right now, and so there is definitely the need for lending, for borrowing, for capital efficient lending to create like real investment strategies. So we believe that starting soon, even in this adverse conditions, we can build our position in the community, be the first one, and secure our first place.
Yeah, sounds really good. And those are indeed differing positions, but they both make sense. And I think according to you, like if you follow what the community wants, that you're going in the right direction, right? Couple of more questions also from the community. Let's start with this one. It's from Papa Jot. What tokens and coins will be available on DeltaPrime from the beta?
From the day one, or just altogether?
Let's do both, from day one and altogether.
Yeah. So the actual list, it's gonna be decided 2 weeks before the launch, and the explanation why is that we take into account the risk of the volatility of any token that we make available to our platform. So definitely you will find stables, you will find wrapped Bitcoin, you will find wrapped ETH, and like the major tokens for the Avalanche ecosystem where we start. But the definite list is gonna be decided later, and that's how it's gonna look through all the story of the protocol. So we'll keep updating our list. So when there is a new protocol, new valuable project with a strong token, we can introduce it to our platform. If there is one that goes worse, or like that there is some more volatility that we cannot support, then we can deleverage this token and then remove it with time.
Yeah. And at this point, there are like 11 tokens listed. 11 tokens.
Yeah.
Lucas, what about your
the tokens? Before I will go to tokens on Brightpool, just one comment to that, because that's what I liked in your project. Because I don't know, guys, if you remember, I said that when you place the order on Brightpool, your funds, for example, your stables, are locked in the Brightpool smart contract called orders pool. And in the long term, we would like to partner with DeltaPrime, with Piotr, that we will give our users possibility to lock the stables in DeltaPrime protocols. That's kind of like a long-term goal, that You place the order on Brightpool, I don't know, 7 days order, for example, and then you can take those stables and lock them in DeltaPrime, you know. So that's basically like the we've mentioned which tokens will be available at the moment. I just reminded that. So that's one of the things. And initially on our platform we will have just one pair. It will be Ethereum to stables, like all sort of stables, like USDC, USDT, DAI, and probably a few others. And very soon after that will be wrapped Bitcoin, and then we will go with another token. Like next is probably Matic, and next tokens are to be decided. For each of the traded token, we create a volatility model. We assess the volatility. So that's the listing of the tokens, like take some time. Like the longest development was for Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin and from Ethereum, it's much easier because still we have some correlation in the market. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum are leaders, and yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to ask because a lot of option protocols that I have seen, like they work differently from yours, where you can like place options the other way around. But they have like only a couple of listed tokens or pairs, and I was very surprised about that. Like, is it for you relatively easy to integrate pairs? Is that the reason that you start off with so many, or?
Is it easy to integrate? You mean like a new tokens, new trading pairs?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the initial ones, like after the Ethereum and Bitcoin, after that is done, then it's relatively easy. It's not such difficult. Like, to get your understanding, for example, the development of the volatility prediction model, because this is a key. Like the Black-Scholes equation is, there is like around 5 parameters, let's say. And the volatility is the most important parameter. And we not exactly use Black-Scholes model. There is some modification, but I'm not the science guy. Maybe we will do one day AMA with Konrad, who is like he is the brain, you know, who created that. So so after we have the model for Ethereum, then it's pretty simple to go for next coins, because it's just a matter of changing the source of data. You just need some on-chain data about on-chain data according to that particular token, and that's it, in fact. And you need to connect it. So for development of first trading pair took us almost 6 months, but the next trading pairs is like 2 weeks, 1 month, something.
Right. There's one main innovation that we haven't talked about for some reason. Like I missed it. The merge.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Right, that's a small little thing that has been happening around, right?
Yeah.
You're in Berlin right now. We're all in Berlin. Like, how have the conversations been going? Like, is this a big topic in like around the projects you've been talking to, or has it passed like silently, just like the merge itself?
Yeah. So first of all, happy merge to everyone, and secondly, to be honest, it's not such a topic that like one would expect right now. Maybe one thing about this blockchain week, this is really a decentralized event. There are like so many events all around, like for example DAppCon, some events like Binance events and so on. So any event has its own characteristics, its own attendance guests. So it's probably really influenced by that. But for example on DAppCon, where I attended, like there are so many builders, DeFi builders, NFT builders, and so on, that the conversations were more around like the areas we work on than the actual merge itself. And the second biggest topic was rollups and zero knowledge proofs. Yeah, so that's interesting. Like the merge went really smoothly, and like I think it went that smoothly through like the builders community.
Yeah, I have the same feeling. Like nobody really talks about it. I would say probably people like 9 a.m. they were they were checking whether it went smoothly, but I wouldn't found nobody really excited about it. And in my opinion, like the thing is, like as you said, it went so smoothly that there is nothing to talk about. There is a merge, and we expected the merge, so the merge is on. There is no drama. No drama. There is no conversation. So So yeah, that's the one thing. And in my opinion, the merge is, let's remember that I believe that the last Ethereum bull run to 2000, it was like before merge bull run, in my opinion. So right now we have everything in prices. Nobody's excited too much, even from the trading perspective. So no, I wouldn't say it's like a big topic here.
All right, all right. I've also another big question, which I'm sure like everyone is looking forward to, and that's what innovations are you guys looking forward to in the DeFi space? Like in which sector, or maybe specific innovations, not constrained to like what you heard in this on this blockchain week, but in general, and not including your own, of course. That's the most straightforward, I'd say. Piotr?
Yeah, so yeah, as I mentioned, like rollups are a big topic here, and actually it's a topic I am really interested about and really passionate right now, because it provides the more efficient way for the biggest decentralized network out there with smart contracts, Ethereum, to be usable for protocol like ours. So we definitely watch all the optimistic and like ZK rollups, how they scale, what's the TVL, what's their safety, what's their decentralization, which is a matter of improvement for the future. This is one topic. Another thing I would say is AMMs. There is a lot of happening in that space. I know that like many people right now, they kind of left DeFi, or like they're not so interested because it's bear market, but like under the hood there is a lot of happening, and once they come back in the bull market, they will be like, wow, where am I? Like this like
Everything
works
changed.
totally more efficient. This is like way better. And we have like, for example, single-sided liquidity providing. We have concentrated liquidity, liquidity books, like a lot of happening. Really looking forward to what it's gonna look like in the next months.
And few that's are great examples. And to add few others, in my opinion, there is like how can I say, a blockchain connectivity protocols. I would say like a multi-chain future. It's the other interesting subject. Like our token is ready for the layer 0 technology. Layer 0 technology allows you to mint your token simultaneously on the separate blockchain. There are, as far as I remember, 7 blockchains available right now at the layer 0, and layer 0 do the whole bunch of let's say wrapping, burning, moving things for the protocol. We don't have to code it simply. If you want to have like in our case, in case of Brightpool, it's extremely important for us that we have like a one stake of tokens, and that stake of token, those tokens, the 80% of the total token supply of Brightpool is dedicated for rewards for users. And we want to be able to mint those tokens on Polygon, on Avalanche, on BNB, Arbitrum, Optimism, etc. And but from the one stake. And we want to keep the, let's say, the register of those tokens between all the other chains in place. And normally we have to write a whole bunch of smart contracts, to do that, to burn tokens, move tokens, etc. And layer 0 is doing that for us. And in that area, there are the layer 0 has a few competitors. AWA is one of the protocols which is evolving right now, just to mention this one. And I think that there will be that will be significant as well. You probably know Stargate, and Stargate has a big hype around April this year. And right now, SushiSwap introduced multi-chain swapping. Like you can swap, for example, Matic on Polygon to Dopex on Arbitrum, or like this, and they do it thanks to the Stargate. Unfortunately, it's pretty expensive. I would say it's pretty expensive right now. So they probably need to work on gas a bit more. So this is one thing, and the second thing. Last days, I came across very interesting protocol which is called Milkomeda, and this is very specific layer 2 protocol. Like it makes you Well, so we have EVM blockchains and Rust blockchains, and like everyone who develops the project and once decided I'm doing Solana, I'm writing that in Rust. When you want to go to EVM, it's a problem. You need to rewrite smart contracts, a lot of coding, etc. And the opposite, in opposite, is the same. And Milkomeda is doing specific layer 2. They are allowing EVM projects to run on Rust blockchain without rewriting smart contracts for Rust. So you can keep your smart contracts in EVM, and thanks to them, run your smart contracts on Solana. So this is, in my opinion, it's pretty nice innovation, and I'm following that project, and I'm very curious how they will manage, because if they will do good, I will definitely use them.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely look into them as well, because like the space is dominated kind of by like Solidity, and like me with a background of a programmer, I think it's not like the best for the space, for the industry to be dominated by one solution. So we need some kind of competition, and but on the other hand, we don't want to end up with a jungle of different languages, different protocols, like solutions.
Yeah.
So some connection between what's already there, I think it's going to be beneficial for everyone.
And there is that Aptos blockchain coming, which is where is a huge hype around it. It's like if you remember Facebook drama with Lira, Facebook wanted to introduce Lira, and they created special programming language for that purpose, which is called Move, if I remember well. And the Aptos is run. The CEO of Aptos is a guy who used to who was responsible for the development of that language, if I remember well. Used to work for Facebook, and when the Lira project failed, now they took the Move language and they want to run Aptos with that. And I've seen yesterday news that the Binance invested in them. They've already raised like a huge amount of funds, like hundreds of millions of dollars. And I didn't have time to investigate Aptos in depth to understand, what exactly is so innovative that everyone is investing. They have new language, but seriously, what can you do new about layer 1 protocol? How you know what I mean? Like, so that's I'm curious about it. Like, don't have my opinion right now. I'm just kind of like, that's I need to check it.
It's crazy. There are so many things popping up right now, and as Piotr mentioned earlier as well, like this bear market, it's not like there's nothing happening, and that's the reason that there's low liquidity, because there's a lot being built right now. We're going to wrap this up. I have one more question. If no other questions come in the comments, then I'm gonna let you say your piece. But before we get to that, because there are a lot of other projects out there which are a lot of them are also innovative. What do you guys look for in partnerships? Because you already mentioned, Lucas, that you'd like to partner up with DeltaPrime. So let's start with Piotr for that reason. Like, what are you looking for in partnerships?
Yeah. So like from our perspective, as we are like here, and like from any DeFi protocols, what we are building here, what we believe what we are building is the basic blocks of the future of finance, and that's why we need interoperability, and we want to prove that because of the blockchain, smart contract architecture, and so on, and really clever guys working on it, we are able to create whole economy which is connected in a way it wasn't possible before. And here you see a perfect example. So someone places an order on Brightpool, and this money could lay there for a week, not being used. So it can be integrated, go to the landing pool of DeltaPrime protocol and get some yield in the meantime. And we are creating the ocean of interoperability, interconnectivity, and so the partnerships are essential. And from our perspective in DeltaPrime, we had so many protocols that at the first glance they looked like a potential competitor. for example, Ava, so like over collateralized lending protocol. But like Ava is really well known in the space, has a lot of liquidity that is actually not used sufficiently. And what they really like to do is to move this liquidity and make it efficient. So they are eager, for example, to do credit delegation, and that's what we kind of like discuss with them. And yeah, I think that's what's super exciting, that we can like partner up and build something bigger by providing blocks of our protocols.
That's it's greatly said, greatly said. From the Brightpool perspective, what can I add? Like Brightpool, we will partnership with the traditional dexes as well. You know, it sounds funny, traditional dexes, you know, like, that you can say that like there is that the dexes
2 years old.
yeah, yeah, exactly. 2 years
It goes
old,
fast here.
traditional
10 times as
dexes,
fast.
you know.
Traditional lending protocols.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's how the space moves so fast. But I totally agree with you. Like I'm thinking like that we have that significant shift in DeFi, and right now will emerge a new DeFi protocol which will add to that top of the DeFi protocols. Like I think you know that Uniswap is here to stay, Ava is here to stay, of course, but there will be like a lot of DeFi protocols which will die, and there is a space for new protocols to join that. You know, the leadership, the dashboard, let's say, and that to fulfill those DeFi Lego blocks, you know, as I like to say, because in DeFi protocols it's kind of like blocks you connect with each other, you know. Yeah, and you give like a great example of that. So yeah, this is like in the beginning we will use traditional dexes to get the liquidity. We will be settling orders on the traditional dexes until the proper size of our own liquidity pool will be built. So that's the thing. And you know, generally in partnership, we are just looking for the vibe. You know, like I just want to partner with the projects, with people. You know, projects are people. Like when we first met with Piotr, we just ETH Warsaw, one of the meetup, ETH Warsaw. We just started to talk, and we just immediately felt that vibe. Like, you know, okay, that's good. Like we can partner. It looks nice. No, that's what I'm looking for. Like instant connection, that you feel that you can be like partners, that you can share. That we want to do AMA together. We want to, you know, support our communities. You know, we have the same goal, like to build that decentralized finance space. You know, free finances that you can use as you want in a decentralized manner. So
knowing that, like seeing in the other person that they're dedicated to add value to the whole DeFi space, something like that, I guess, right? And the whole vibe around that. Sounds really good. Let's wrap this up. There are no other questions, so my last question to you, let's start with you, Lucas, is there anything that we've missed? Might be innovation based, it might also be about Brightpool or about other protocols. Anything you would like to say as an ending note?
I think it was deep enough. Like from my perspective, what I just wanted to say is just to congratulate the whole Ethereum team. Like that they really did it. You know, it was huge, and I really appreciate the fact that it took them a lot of time, but it was so smooth. So you know what I mean. And you are a developer. You know what does it mean.
Like, what was happening underhood is probably incredible.
Exactly. So that congratulations to Vitalik, congratulations to whole team. You know, the whole bunch of people, developers who did it, because they did great job. Like you wouldn't notice. You know, like there was a merge. It was just so that means it was really good.
Yeah, I totally agree, and like that's my feeling. Like I previously said that like not many people like talk too much about merge here, and I think it's thanks to Ethereum people, Ethereum guys, Ethereum developers, engineers, that they made that so smoothly that like we are not scared like what's gonna happen. I mean, it just happened, and that proves that the space can evolve, and this is amazing. Like, you know, the decentralized network, the most decentralized kind of computer in the world, can be upgraded and it works smoothly.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys for being here. To everyone listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for sending in your comments, your questions. Make sure to follow DeltaPrime. Make sure to follow Brightpool. Go to our socials and definitely try out our apps. They're both coming out soon. So it was a good call. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Very nice. Very good. Very good.